Hello everyone, and welcome to Katharine's Creatures, and this is episode 74. And this is a series where I get to touch base and talk a little bit about various mythological creatures, beast beings, and the like pulled from lore worldwide. And I always like to preface by saying that I am not a linguist, so if I mispronounce anything along the way, I apologize in advance. And today I'm going to go over to Norse mythology, which I absolutely love, and for anybody who knows me or has read any of my books, they can understand how much I love this particular mythos. And because of that, I wanted to choose one of my favorite mythological entities, and this is the Fylgja, pluralized Fylgjur. And these are one of the four parts of a human's four parts of self, in a sense, of Norse mythology, because in Nordic lore, they believed, rather than mind, body, and soul, they believed in Hammer, the physical body, Fylgjur, which is the mind and soul, Fylgja, which is your personal luck that goes through family bloodlines, and Fylgjur, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. So Fylgjur are these supernatural beings that accompany a person throughout people throughout their lives. And they are associated with the concepts of fate and fortune, and we'll get into that a little bit more in just a moment. But when a person is born, well, actually, let me rewind to the actual naming of the Fylgja. Think of Fylgja as almost akin to the concept of a totem animal, and they do reflect a person's personality and characteristics, depending on the animal form. I'll get into that also in a moment. But the name itself can translate a couple ways, one of which is to accompany, because they do follow and are around and nearby the person that they are connected with throughout that person's lifetime. And another word that translates is the concept of afterbirth. And the reason for that being is that the lore pertaining to Fylgja is when a child is born and the mother has had the afterbirth, they would put that outside the doorstep, and in the hopes that it would lure a Fylgja to that household, and as soon as the Fylgja eats the afterbirth, they are forever connected to that person until that person's death. And so that oftentimes you will see Fylgja or Fylgjur being these carnivorous animals versus herbivores, kind of relating to the fact that they all have to consume the afterbirth to link them to the person for their life. I know it's a little bit of a gross backstory, but that's what they believed. And because of this, you would often see or hear about people's Fylgja being foxes, dogs, cats, other birds of prey, but sometimes they could be other things like even mice. So go figure. And again, talking about how they reflect the person's true personality and true character traits in their very nature. Someone that is a little more calm and placid person, a little more tame personality would have a Fylgja pertaining or representing that in the sense of a fox, a goat, a boar, these kind of animals that are domesticated. Someone having a far more untamed nature, maybe in volatile personality or something along those lines, would have these kind of more predatory creatures, these wildlife representations. So foxes, wolves, deer, bear, eagles, falcons, even things that are just enough like leopards and lions, and even on occasion serpents, have all been linked to being Fylgjur forms. Now, again, they do kind of, I guess the lore gets a little fuzzy of exactly the importance of the Fylgjur, and some people think it's linked, or they're linked to the concept of fate, because one of the ways you would realize what animal form your Fylgjur takes is that they would appear to the person in the form of dreams. And when this happens, whatever's happening in the dreams is almost like a premonition of what is to come. So they are kind of these portents of fate. They're letting you know something big, something major is about to happen in your life, so pay attention. Now, on the flip side, if you saw a Fylgja while you were awake in some kind of form and realized that's what you had seen, it is usually a precursor to your own demise. So your death is on the horizon. Again, they are linked to fate in a kind of interesting way. But other lore says sometimes Fylgja is a connected to something totally different, shape-shifting, and a person's ability to transform into animals, which in some of the sagas has happened. Other times, the Fylgja themselves will take on actually a human form in the form of a woman, which is rare, but has happened in the past. So it is just very interesting, this wide-ranging concept of what a Fylgja is and what its capability is. But I think most people prefer or agree that depending on the animal form will depend on the core personality traits of the person that the Fylgja or Fylgjur are linked to. And so a couple more examples of this is if you have a Fylgja that's a bear, you probably have some noble blood in your bloodlines. If you have a wolf, you're a very violent person. On the other hand, if you have a pig, it can reflect that you have a gluttonous personality. So be warned. But I love the Fylgja so much, and that's one of my main focuses throughout my series, The Guardian Speaker. And I absolutely love that. I delve really into some of the lores, keeping a lot of it true to form, but others have been changed because I do want to distinguish the concept and the entities Fylgja, Fylgjur, again singular plural, versus Hemingja, Hemingjer, which is another part of the human self, and that really is linked to your fate and your destiny. Okay, if you have any questions about this, let me know. Post them in the comments below or reach out to me on any of my social media. And until next time, everyone, Skål.